Now, back to Real Raw Radio. Sponsored by Anajar and Levine, Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Are you ready? All right, everybody.
Pay attention.
It starts here.
Now that we're all prepared, let's start the show.
Now, Miggs and Swig. Life Out Loud on 102.5 The Bone.
Let's get the show on the road.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour. Whoa! Happy Hot Topic.
What's going on? It's Happy Hour, filling in, taking over rather, as Don Miggs says I can say, on the Miggs and Swig Show. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. Trust me, the phone lines, when I tell you they're wide open, they're wide open. 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. You can tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio. And you can always email me, ryanhopperadio@gmail.com. But if you go to my Twitter, at Ryan Hoppe Radio, I have the poll of the day. It says here, and I want to hear from you, Tampa Bay, you, Clearwater, you, St. Pete, even you, Brooksville. Have you ever had an ex-husband or wife who is obsessive over your new marriage? And I said, like Scott Disick to Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker. 100% of you, Tampa Bay, everybody that voted at Ryan Hoppe Radio, 100% of you said that you don't have a crazy ex who's obsessive over your marriage, which I don't believe, because this is Tampa Bay. We are a bunch of sluts. And, oh, you're offended? We literally have sex clubs here. We are a bunch of sluts. So I want to hear from you. 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. But before I get into the Kourtney Kardashian news clip, and before I get into everything else, I got to let you know, because usually right now at 1 p.m. on a Saturday, Lisa Out Loud with the one and only angel known as Lisa DiBartolo and Don Miggs. You like how I said Lisa first? Yeah, she's awesome. She normally would be doing her segment Lisa Out Loud, but they're not here. They're in Los Angeles. So Lisa Out Loud, a.k.a. Happy Hour, taking over, is being brought to you by Meat Market, and that's in Tampa. They're at 1606 West Snow Avenue, and that's in Tampa. You can give them a call at 813-280-1113. It's 813-280-1113. And for all the info, it's at meatmarket.net. When I tell you that place is an absolute treat. Like, if there's an afterlife, it would be going to Meat Market for dinner. It is so good, and everybody is so friendly. Like, you know when you go to, like, that, like, chain place, and the food's okay, but the waiters are annoying, and they're kind of douchebags? You're not going to get that at Meat Market. They have the best cooks around. They have the best servers around. And they have the best food around. So, once again, 1606 West Snow Avenue, and that's in Tampa. And make a reservation, 813-280-1113. It's 813-280-1113. Meat Market, tell them that you heard about it on Happy Hour, taking over from Miggs and Swig. Like, you have to word it that way. You can't say, oh, I heard about it on The Bone. You must say when you go there, I heard about it on Happy Hour, taking over from Miggs and Swig. Get it? Got it? Good. Okay. So, been seeing this recent trend recently. Now, I've been dating my girlfriend for about almost 2 years now. It's crazy. So I have not been in the single game for a minute, and I don't plan on it. But what I'm saying is, man, do I not miss, like, the whole idea of going on Tinder, which I was banned from Tinder the week I met my girlfriend. It was like it was meant to be. And you go, ew, Ryan, why'd you get banned from Tinder? That means you're a douchebag. No, I literally had as my bio because I didn't care anymore. Which I guess I was putting that energy out to the Tinder universe. I said in my bio and quote, because it used to be I'm 6'9", so that matters on here. And it worked well. But I changed my bio to sign up for my OnlyFans for $5.99, and then they banned me, and I was like, come on. Like, it's a joke. So I'm very grateful that I am no longer in the single world, the dating world. But my goodness, the one thing I learned from my breakup, because in this news clip is going to be Scott Disick is obsessed over Travis Barker and Kourtney Kardashian. If you don't watch the Kardashians, Scott Disick is this trust fund baby who has a lot of money, who dated the Kardashians and married Kourtney and had 3 kids with her. And then what happened is she divorced him because he's crazy. He's one of those pretty boys that you watch out for. Like, he has just got ultimate Chad energy. That's why his name's Scott Disick. And he's obsessive over Kourtney and Travis. And I know Scott Disick currently is listening to Hoppe Hour, taking over the Miggs and Swig show. So, Scott, and to anybody else out there that can't get over your ex, listen to me. I got D's in school. That's all I got. I barely graduated high school. I look at my angelic little cousin who's 18 years old now, which is crazy that a 2004 baby is 18. And he's got all A's, and he's probably going to go to Bradley University. And then here I am in radio, and I'm very proud of him. But the thing is, like, I don't know. You got to get over the breakup if you're Scott Disick or any other dude out there. Because I went through that breakup 4 years ago, and I could have been classier on this format here on this radio frequency or internet app you're using. I went on these radio waves and bashed my ex. Do I regret it? It was good therapy to bash her to hundreds of thousands of people, but I kind of regret it. And it was my ego. I thought my ex was like, you know what? Ryan Hoppe was so good at sex. Ryan Hoppe was such an amazing boyfriend that I'm going to dump him, but never date anybody else ever again. Like, my narcissism, I have slight narcissism, but I'm not on the spectrum. I was thinking, my ex, and I was literally thinking this because I couldn't imagine her banging somebody else. But I literally said to myself, oh, she's just going to be like by herself her whole life because she'll never get something better than me. Then she gets married 8 months later and has a kid. And I go, oh. Like, it hurt when I found out she was married, but then when I found out she had a kid, I was like, whatever. But the most amazing part about heartbreak is it humbles you. The most amazing part about heartbreak is that it makes you realize that you're replaceable. And what I mean by that is whenever, like, somebody will talk about their ex and they recently get through a breakup, they'll post something on Facebook, or if you're me, you go to the local bar and just get drunk in 2018 and 19 to suppress your feelings. And the overall vibe when a dude gets dumped, I can only speak for hetero dudes. I cannot speak for any other gender, whatever you identify as. But dudes just can't accept that they're replaceable. And the worst part is when you're a heterosexual dude, the thought of all the fun things you did when you were having sex with your ex, she is now doing that with somebody else and has all the experience and is glad it's not you. Because everybody on social media, whenever there's a breakup or even a divorce, the good old thoughts and prayers, oh, that works all the time. But people go, oh, I'm sorry that happened. I hope you heal. No. And this isn't just a be a man thing, because this could go for any gender. Be a whatever you identify as. Get over it. Your life is short, and think about it. You're never going to hook up with that person ever again. And they are so glad that they are not with you. And I've said this before, and people are like, it's kind of mean or whatever. Blah, blah. No, it's the hard truth that you need. And Scott Disick, because I know you're listening to Hoppe Hour, you got to take that approach, bro. While you're sitting around obsessing over your ex, and this is for any listener out there doing this, she is having fun, and you are sitting around thinking about somebody who is getting laid while you are not getting laid. Think about that logic. You are sitting around obsessing over your ex. And I'm saying this because I did this. I was heartbroken. It hurt. But you got to get over it. 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025.
I feel like I am living like a fairy tale making like new memories and new moments, and I don't necessarily want Scott at all of them.
I don't remember the fairy tale where the princess had a sex tape with a one-hit wonder get released but claim it was leaked. Can someone tell me about that fairy tale? Is that the new Disney Plus movie?
Kourtney Kardashian isn't letting Scott Disick ruin her newlywed bliss with Travis Barker.
I'm not putting my energy there.
A source tells ET Kourtney couldn't be more in love and happier. And we're told the blushing bride is loving her new last name, which is proudly on full display on her Instagram page. Quote, she loves signing her name as Mrs. Barker and everyone is so happy for her.
She's probably that annoying person, you know, when like, and this goes with any gender. Just got to put that out there. Public service announcement. I bet she's one of those like people that like when she's signing a check, she's like, ooh, Kourtney Kardashian Barker. Like she thinks like it's so cool. Like she's got to let everybody know, hey, I used to sign it as Kourtney Kardashian dating a sociopath Disick. Now I'm dating the better guy.
We love that you're this happy and we love Travis. Yeah. But for Scott, it just wasn't meant to be, you know?
But woe is me.
Of course.
Didn't do all this stuff.
I know.
She's basically saying he was a bitch and I had him whipped. By saying that, she is not complimenting him. And I don't know why you would want to go back to that. That means you were whipped. She had you down, bro. She owned you, bro. Command the room. Look at Travis. Yeah, they make out like 14-year-olds outside of Spencer's Gifts in 2004, and it's weird and uncomfortable, and their kids have repeatedly said, please don't do that. But he commands the room. As a whatever you identify as, you must command the room to attract attention, to attract whatever you want to get with sexually or whatever you want. When you beg for the room's attention, you come off like a bitch, and that is what Scott did.
But I'm just telling you from somebody else's perspective.
Yeah.
For Kourtney, she's emotionally done with her past and focusing on her future and family.
Okay, if you're officially over the past, then we should never hear about Scott again. Oh, wait, we'll hear about him in 3 episodes.
Our source says the mom of 3 knows Scott will always be the father of her kids, but she isn't going to let Scott's feelings ruin her moment. And she feels she's a better mom and person with Travis.
We're just, living our best lives.
That is a huge, huge diss on Scott's legacy. To say a better mom, like, I don't have kids. I'm indifferent if I want them. If it were to be that, I would have money and it'd be in like 10 years. But when she is saying I'm a better mom, I feel like she's saying because Travis is probably less crazy, I perform better as a mother than when Scott was around, which means that Scott didn't bring out the best motherhood around her. Essentially saying, you were such a bad partner, I wasn't being my best self. That is a huge, huge insult. And he wants to get back with her? Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
The new dynamic with the Kardashian Barker crew is playing out on the family's Hulu series, including how Scott really feels about Kourtney stepping into this new chapter without him.
He said, this is not the easiest for me, and I just, at the end of the day, I want you to be happy, and, congrats on the engagement.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm. I don't really think that me getting engaged is, about Scott.
I can't take this, I'm sorry. I've heard deeper conversations when I'm on the treadmill, which I'm never on, but if I was on the treadmill and there were 2 beautiful women at LA Fitness jogging, you will literally hear a deeper conversation than them talking, oh my God, Scott's obsessed. Their vocal fry and how they drag out words, that's truly because they don't know what they're saying. But guess what? You need plans tonight? You sick and tired of binge watching the Kardashians on Hulu? Tonight, go to Meat Market, 1606 West Snow Avenue, A13-280-1113. That's A13-280-1113. All right. This next headline, if I was on Sirius Radio, I would have played the audio. And even though the audio was cleaned, I like being employed, and I don't know what the FCC even thinks anymore. But in Chicago, the version of The Bone in Tampa Bay is sports radio. And the ratings especially are crazy if the teams are good. When the teams aren't good, I feel bad for them, but they don't do as well in the ratings. But the Chicago White Sox, I think, are doing okay. I haven't been in Chicago in 8 years, so I'm not exactly sure. But they have this player named Joe Kelly, who is a pitcher for the White Sox. And a lot of times these sport radio shows will have on the crazy personality. They'll have on the wild guy who you never know what he's going to say. And usually those people will keep it classy enough. Like before I was born, it was Mike Ditka. I would believe in Tampa Bay, it would be Warren Sapp, who is very outspoken. And even Rondé Barber is amazingly outspoken in a chill way. That's who I would equate that to, this guy, Joe Kelly on the White Sox. Anyway, he said to the radio show host, Danny Parkins and Matt Spiegel, beforehand, that they needed to be careful because he wasn't sure how many F words he was going to say on their AM radio show. And I'm like, really, dude? That is the definition of demanding the room. When you're such an ignorant idiot that has to swear at all times that you can't take that out of your vocabulary. Because here's what happened. He goes on air and he says the first F word and the team dumped it. And by the way, pressing the dump button is frightening because it always works, but there's that chance it might not work. He goes on to say the F word and then said, where's that button at? Like, if I was the show host, I would kick him out and defend the integrity of the hardworking board ops. It is so ridiculous and so immature. The hosts go, you're good, just don't swear again. And he goes, so I say to myself, that's a baby. What the are you doing? And I don't know what the context of the conversation is, what the baby's about. But the fact that he goes, that's a baby, what the are you doing? Like, why do you need to say that? You could have said, that's a baby, Aaron, come on now. But it's so ignorant that you literally, it's like you're trying to troll them. And he goes, I said again, what the are you doing? And then the show host, who I've interviewed on my podcast, Hoppe Hour, by searching Hoppe Radio on every platform, Matt Spiegel, said, all right, we do have to ask you to think about the cursing thing just every once in a while. I mean, that is just absolutely infuriating. I hate when professional athletes go on these shows and they think they're better than you and blah, blah, blah. It's like you have this same amount of time on this planet and you go to the bathroom as well. You're no different than anybody else. And I thought that was just so disrespectful. It's like these professional athletes that get such a big head don't realize that unless fans are buying their jerseys and unless fans are going to their game or watching the game or signing up for the sports packages, they would be nothing. And sports like the MLS, soccer, would beg to have the fan base of the Chicago White Sox. And as they say in Chicago, this jagoff goes on air and says, I don't know how to control myself from saying the bad word. Like, shut up, dude.
Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour.
Now, back to Real Raw Radio. Sponsored by Anajar and Levine, Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Hey, this is Jaron Lowenstein, and you know who I am. Trust me, just Google me. You are listening to my favorite show, The Miggs and Swig Show. Yeah, I really love it. Right here on 102.5 The Bone.
Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour. Happy Hot Topic.
Welcome back. This is Hoppe Hour taking over the Miggs and Swig Show. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. You can tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio, and you can always email me, RyanHoppeRadio@gmail.com. As always, This following show, this segment, whatever the hell you want to call it, is being brought to you by Mead Market in Hyde Park. When I tell you that they are the best in the Bay, I am a man of my words. I would not lie to you. 1606 West Snow Avenue, and that's in Tampa. 813-280-1113. That's 813-280-1113, and that's meadmarket.net. And like I said, you have to say the official wording. I heard about this on Hoppe Hour taking over the Miggs and Swig show, and you'll get hooked up. All right. We have so much to get into. So I've grown up a sports fan my whole life, and I've never gotten ever the hatred that Skip Bayless gets. Well, I mean, I got it when I was 18 years old, and I didn't know that all the TV shows on those major networks are pretty much scripted. And for people that don't watch sports, let me explain to you. Skip Bayless is this guy who is like this older boomer who began as a sports writer when it mattered, the thing called the newspaper. And this was in the 80s and 90s. And he always says really crazy things. Like he said that Tim Tebow was going to be the best football player of all time. He said LeBron sucks. And he makes an absolute living. He makes millions off of just trolling people. And when he came out in the 2000s and 2010s, I was in high school and whatever, the grades under that, so middle school or whatever. And we would all rant in our classroom about, oh, Skip Bayless said this or Skip Bayless said that. And we would tweet at him. We would get all mad. It's kind of like the Boneheads. And the thing is, I realized when I was maybe 21 that he was just doing it for attention. I realized that it was all an act. And I almost felt embarrassed all the times I got mad over him. There's a lot of people in the media are afraid to get hate. A lot of people in the media want love. But if you're getting all love, that means you're boring. It means you're Ryan Seacrest, which is fine, but there's only one Ryan Seacrest. But if you just acknowledge the haters, them talking about you, like all of us talking about Skip Bayless back in the day, we were giving him free promotion everywhere. He wanted to be the villain. And I think there's a disconnect with how listeners or viewers consume media. Like I was watching the remake of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, their character for Carlton. If you thought Carlton on the original show was a douchebag, the new one's like snorting cocaine. It's crazy. It's a good show. It's on Peacock. It would be more popular if Will Smith wasn't a part of it. And I find myself hating this character. Like, oh my God, he's the worst. And my girlfriend was like, that's the point. That means he's doing a good job acting, is the fact that I'm getting worked up over it. And it's the same thing with Skip Bayless. Because Skip Bayless is trying to have a movie made about him. And when I saw this headline, I had to like do a double take. Like, you know, when you read something so ridiculous and so out of this world, you almost like kind of blink your eyes. You're like, how is that real? Skip Bayless would like Kevin Costner to play him in the upcoming film about his marriage. And I mean, that is the most bizarre, out of this world thing, that Skip Bayless is known for being this outlandish, I think that would be the right word, loud, insane TV guy. And then they're making a movie about his marriage. And then this was from Awful Announcing, which is a pretty good website, but it also gives all the people they don't like the attention. But it's an okay website if you want to see them make fun of the announcers that are worth millions, like Jim Rome. And when I saw Awful Announcing tweet this on Twitter, it was quite hilarious because it was the Skip Bayless effect. Everybody was mad. They're like, oh, there was like maybe 40 responses. It was like, oh, who's going to want to see a movie about Skip Bayless's marriage? I would watch that. I mean, it sounds amazing because it sounds horrendous because we know, well, maybe not everybody, but he's an absolute character. He's not being genuine. So I bet when he gets home, he's like, hey, baby, how was your day? Because he's so loud on TV that you assume right when he goes home, that dude is whipped. He's like, yes, baby, whatever you need. And you don't want to see that in a movie? That sounds magnificent. Last week, Skip Bayless was joined by his wife on his podcast. And during the show, she broke the surprising news that a movie about their marriage is in the works. Oh, this is great. The movie will be based on the 2019 book Balls. No, not the Balls box from 2017. Remember the Balls box? That was a throwback. No, the book is called Balls. How to Keep Your Relationship Alive When You Live with a Sport-Obsessed Guy, which credits the authors being Skip and his wife, although I'm sure they got a little bit of help on that. 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. So here's what Skip had to say about it. Can we go pie in the sky? Can we go this will never happen? For her, I wanted to be Sarah Jessica Parker of Sex and the City. Why? And then he goes on to say, wherever we go, someone tells my wife, do you know you look like Sarah Jessica Parker? And his wife is a very beautiful woman. Don't get me wrong, but she looks absolutely nothing like Sarah Jessica Parker. That would be like someone coming up to me and being like, hey, dude, you look like Brad Pitt. Skip goes on to say, and for me, it would have to be Kevin Costner. That seems more like it. And you can see Kevin Costner. I could totally see him. I feel like when you play someone as loud as Skip Bayless, you probably have to like get into the method acting like Joaquin Phoenix does for every movie to get attention. And I feel like you would just have to be yelling about sports all day to really grab the essence of that fake douchebag known as Skip Bayless. But there I am saying douchebag, so he's winning. And then for 17 years, Skip says, my wife has told me you look like Kevin Costner. So you know what this whole article is telling me? That at home, they are the sappy, likable, cute little couple. Where they're like, oh, you look like Sarah Jessica Parker. Oh, you look like Kevin Costner. Like, that is the proof that he would be the most sweetheart ever. He's going around the house complimenting his wife. And that's cute. I want to see that side of him. But here's the polar opposite of going around the house complimenting your wife, because I don't really see Ellen doing that. I see her and Portia de Rossi sleeping in separate beds and it being a forced business relationship. Why do I bring up Ellen, that fake douchebag that somehow got away with treating everybody like garbage, but because she's Ellen and she dances, we just forgot about it? Because some great news happened. Her show is finally off the air after 18 years.
This show has forever changed my life. It is the greatest experience I have ever had, beyond my wildest imagination.
Yeah, she's like, I wasn't really that funny, and I can't believe I pulled it off for almost 20 years.
Ellen's Final Dance, the comedian signing off from her signature talk show after 19 seasons on Thursday.
Thank you so much for being on this journey with me.
You're not welcome.
I feel the love, and I send it back to you.
I send the love back to all these celebrities that are A-list celebrities that I want to kiss their ass for clout. If it's Bieber, Jennifer Lawrence, or Jennifer, like whoever comes on the show, she kisses their ass for clout. But all the production team members and the interns and the people that are probably making $10 an hour, I will never address you, and I will be an absolute garbage human being to you. And from comedians that I know that I'm friends with, she's a garbage human being to anybody she ever works with at a comedy club. So those people, she's not going to give too much of the love to, but the celebrities that make her look human, oh, I love you so much.
Bye.
I love making people happy, and I love seeing people laugh and have a good time.
If you love making people happy, why did you treat your whole team like garbage?
And she did just that one last time, bringing the laughs with her final monologue.
When we started the show, I couldn't say gay on the show. I was not allowed to say gay. I said it at home a lot. What are we having for our gay breakfast? Or
I will say this, because I am all about gay rights. Whatever you want to do in this lifetime, whatever you identify as long as you're not hurting other people, that is completely fine. So I will say the one thing I do like about Ellen is she gave the gay community, the LGBTQ+, I believe that's what it is. She gave that community a voice, an outlet, especially in the 2000s when a lot of TV shows were making like homophobic jokes and a lot of hack morning shows were just using the word gay as an insult. I wonder what show that would be. She gave a voice that it's positive, that it's okay to be yourself. So I will give her that. Everything else, treating her team like garbage, yeah, that's not cool. But I'm glad she was able to give the LGBTQ+ community a voice.
pass the gay salt. Has anyone seen the gay remote? Things like that.
But the tears flowed soon after, Ellen reflecting on the impact the talker had on her life.
What makeup did they have to put on her eyes to shed some tears? Because I don't see that sociopath being able to have any emotion.
Because of this platform, we have been able to change people's lives. And this show has forever changed my life. It is the greatest experience I have ever had.
Well, that's sad. If you doing a show is the best experience you've ever had, like, it's cool to have your job influence you and give you good memories. But a job, any job, radio, being a daytime TV host, working at a fast food joint, being a welder, being a librarian, whatever you're doing, an ice cream truck driver, you can be replaced tomorrow. Like, if you died tomorrow, they're like, who's going to board up on the weekend? Who's going to drive the ice cream truck? It's completely fine to have your best memories, some of them, be from your job. But if your best memories don't come from those who you love, and your best memories don't come from experiences, you're living life the wrong way, and you don't have much going on in your personal life, so work is all you have. And pretty much that's Ellen.
Beyond my wildest imagination. So Twitch, one last time, dance with me.
I don't know who is better acting with crying, Amber Heard or Ellen. My goodness, could not pull that off.
The source tells ET Ellen's last show was emotional for her. It feels like an end of an era, but she is ready for the next chapter of her life. It feels bittersweet.
What, death?
You have to embrace all the moments in life because they all add to something that makes you a better person.
Ellen taped the episode last month, going out with a bang by taking things full circle, inviting her first ever guest, Jennifer Aniston.
It's a welcome mat.
It's a welcome mat.
For your
Thank
guests.
Man, Ellen, I know this is audio, so it's not a visual, but man, Ellen in 2003 did not look like damaged from life. She looked young and vibrant.
Back for the finale. Jen was quick to sympathize with Ellen, explaining how she handled saying goodbye to her own iconic show, Friends, back in 2004.
I got a divorce and went into therapy.
That's what you usually do.
And then I did a movie called The Breakup. I just kind of leaned into the end.
Yeah, she's one of those where she thought way too much about it. I wonder if Brad dumped her.
Next up, Billie Eilish.
You started this show the year after I was born.
Yes.
So this was in my house constantly, every day.
Yes.
I mean, really, I would walk into the kitchen and my mom would be watching.
All right, I don't care anymore. That show, though, I've always said, specifically Jimmy Fallon with The Tonight Show, not the liberal fake douchebag known as Jimmy Kimmel who all of a sudden is woke. It's okay if you're woke, but if you were doing The Man Show 25 years ago and now you're the authority on liberal things, shut up. And that goes with Seth Meyers, even though there's really nothing he could be canceled for. Like, Jimmy Kimmel must have the best, publicity to not get him canceled, even though 6 seasons of The Man Show just sit on Amazon Prime. But, what I'm saying is, I've always said you could take the Jimmy Fallon Tonight Show and place it up against Ellen, and Ellen would beat him during the day, or Ellen at night would beat Jimmy Fallon. Because Jimmy Fallon has one of the most fake, smarmy shows ever, and so did Ellen. The one thing that was better about Ellen was, yes, she had the dancing, and yes, she played games, but she's a better interviewer. Jimmy Fallon's like, ha, 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 ha. I don't know what to do because I'm really itching for a beer because I'm an alcoholic, allegedly. So I'm going to play beer pong because it reminds me of the bars I'm going to hit up afterwards, which has been reported in the New York Post. He just always gives me bad vibes, but hey, man, you should take good vibes, though, right? Maybe Jimmy Fallon doesn't have bad vibes. When I think of good vibes, I think of somebody who seeks approval by laughing at their own jokes on SNL because they're afraid people won't laugh, 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes we'll know somebody who's a parent. Sometimes we'll know somebody who had a kid young or a kid old. It could be a family member, could be a friend, could be a coworker. And maybe it's just me, but everyone does this. You hear about something they did in their life when it comes to parenting, and you immediately judge them. Even though you didn't give birth to the kid or you weren't in the room, you judge people. Even though I've heard your life changes right when you have a parent. So I try not to judge. Sometimes when if you go anywhere past 10 p.m., anything that's open, that is open 24 hours because pretty much everything ended. But sometimes you'll see things that you'll see kids acting up if you go somewhere at 10 o'clock and they're between the ages of 0 and 8 and it's past their bedtime. So sometimes you're like, but even then you can't critique the parenting. But I saw this headline here and I thought this was absolutely, positively ridiculous. So Ice-T and Coco, who, man, she's good looking, they were pushing their kid around. Well, I'll just play the news clip. I'm going to let it explain itself. And people were judging their parenting, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Ice-T and Coco Austin have no time for parenting shamers. The Law & Order SVU star and his wife spoke out on Tuesday after a recent family photo with their 6-year-old daughter Chanel attracted some criticism. Coco shared an Instagram snap of the trio enjoying a day of shopping while on vacation in the Bahamas.
It's so weird, though. She's wearing almost lingerie and she's next to her daughter. It's oh my God.
She captioned it, "A stroll through the Atlantis Bahamas shops. Chanel is so over it unless there's something cool to see. Her face transitions instantly." Some followers took to the comments section to question why Chanel was in a stroller, and the debate was covered by a few news outlets.
Why do you care? What if she has scoliosis and she needs to sit down? Why do you care? Has nothing to do with your life. You are a loser. You are a wannabe Karen. You are a wannabe Todd. Because I think a Todd would be the male equivalent of a Karen. If you care about what a celebrity is doing, because you talk about it behind the keyboard, even though you would never say it to their... All right, I had to dump that. Even though it was cleaned out, it pretty much said that Ice-T said, "I don't care," and it had a few swear words. And even though those swear words were beeped, I'm just going to be careful. But yeah, I cannot imagine caring. I'm so focused on my career and keeping my relationship with my girlfriend healthy and just living and keeping the trend of breathing going. Because one day we're not going to be breathing anymore. I'm so focused on that I truly don't care what anyone else is doing. And it's insane if you care. If it's a radio host, if it's a daytime TV host, a soap opera host, if you're an older boomer listening, what does it impact your life? Why do you care? Life is so short. Why do you care what they're doing? I don't know, man. It just makes me sad. 727-579-1025 and 1-800-771-1025. You can tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio, and you can always email me, ryanhopperadio@gmail.com. This show has been brought to you by Meat Market. 1606 West Snow Avenue. I didn't even have the webpage loaded up, and I had to have memorized. 813-280-1113. That's 813-280-1113. One more time. I said too many numbers. 813-280-1113. Go to meatmarket.net. The best around. Thank you to Don Miggs and Lisa DiBartolo for the opportunity. Thank you to the original, the OG, who gave me airtime on this frequency, Mike Olivero, the one and only, for the opportunity, and obviously Mike Calta for everything. And up next, we sat in for Drew Garabo Live, the Mike O radio show with me, Mike O, and Corey on Monday, and it was before Game 4 of the Tampa Bay Lightning game against the Florida Panthers. And we have a lot of good interviews. So the best of is coming up next. And also, if you want to hear more of my show, it's not rocket science. It's not hard. Go to every single major platform that has a podcast: Spotify, Apple, TuneIn, Amazon Music, whatever you listen to. And search up Hoppe Radio, Hoppe Radio. You can email me, RyanHoppeRadio@gmail.com, and tweet at me at RyanHoppeRadio. And for all the info on my podcast, go to RyanHoppeRadio.com. There it has all the shows I've done on the bone, and it has my Hoppe TV segments and all the interviews I've done. Honestly, I'm getting nauseated with myself with this over promotion. So if you want to search me up, that's cool. If you don't, I hope you have an amazing Saturday night at Meat Market. Goodbye now.
I feel so high, dancing all night. You blow my mind, 'cause you're so fine. I feel so high, dancing all night. You blow my mind, 'cause you're so fine.
Hoppe Hour.